Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you have me watching. This is Risco no Saka coming at you with another playlist cleanup-y type of thing. Got another 10 levels. We're going to be stripping off the playlist so we can put on some more later on. Actually, this might be a little bit late. If it is a little bit late, I do apologize. Life has been, well, it's been life-shaped recently, if we're going to go so far. But we've got these 10 levels. They're going to be coming off the playlist, and I wanted to give them one last shout-out, one last little bit of hype, and kind of hope that you give them a shot. Coming up in number 1, we've got Haunted Mansion Adventure by Starkweather TD. It's a nice little slice of LBP 1 goodness. It doesn't stand out necessarily. It's not the top of the charts, the top of the class as far as LBP 1 levels go. It can be a bit clunky in its shaping, but it's got some humor going on in it, and it's got a nice bit of environmental design and a nice bit of atmosphere going on, and it's perfect for the Halloween season, for which this should be on time for. Coming up in number 2, we got the Bunks by Alexandre, and Bunks is not quite as fast-paced as the very nice music might suggest. There are some interesting ideas here, but there is a fair amount of confusion I felt in how to progress through the level. There's an awful lot of the level that's gated off with invisible materials, so it's not always clear why you're dying. Still, it's fun enough for a relatively quick go. Coming in at number 3, we've got Avoid by Zanjo. And Avoid is it's a shooter game. It's kind of a sort of survival, I want to say survival horror, but survival challenge. You got blocks that are coming down from the top of the screen that you're supposed to be shooting. There's some diamonds that you can shoot that will cause things to slow down and pause. You've got basically one hit until you're dead, and it's very repetitively stressful on the trigger finger, because you're just going to have to be hitting that over and over again. I'm not sure I highly recommend it, but it is nice to see a little bit of a different style every now and then. Coming up in number 4, we've got Grabble On Sackboy by Abho, and it's a decent enough grabbable level, a grapplinator level. It's relatively short. We're told that it's actually just a demo, and if we want to see more of the level, that we should hard it and get in touch with Abo. And you know, it would be nice to see the ideas expanded on a little bit more, sure. Coming up in number 5, we've got Cardboard Castle Mania, from Leo2309. This is a really cool level. I love the power-up, the Fadinator, that allows you to go through walls and kind of interact a little bit more with the level. I do love these level interactions. Something neat I noticed this time around is that the Fadinator actually has a pause on it, and you can tell when you're able to shoot again because the headlamp will actually glow on the Creatinator device. I thought that was really cool. The ending of the level as well, I think it's got a very nice set piece going on there. Now coming up in number 6, we've got Sea of Clouds by JWS070803. This one is an explorer platformer. There's some lore that's tucked away here if you find certain objects in the environment, like certain secrets in the environment. Tell you a little bit more about what's going on. I like the gross shaping of the environment, the rock formations and how those look and how things are set up, but I do think that it could use a little bit more decoration, and it could use a little bit more differentiation in various areas. I found myself sometimes getting lost and looping in on things. Coming in at number 7, we've got Paint Fair Boss Playground by Hirunda, and those of you who have come into the streams know that Hirunda is a regular, a semi-regular there, somebody who I always love to support. The Paint Fair Boss Playground is basically kind of showing off things that Hirunda wasn't sure if he was going to be able to implement in his Paint Fair level. The bosses are really well designed, the power-ups are amazing, and Hirunda is like a power-up creator, is really excellent and solid on with the guns. This one's a really fun one, but definitely check out some of the more expanded levels where Hirunda is taking more of a look at what's going on here. Now coming up in number 8, we've got the Butterfly Garden by All West 94. This is a bit of LBP2 goodness. I enjoy this particular style, but I do recognize that it is a style that it does tend to come up fairly often, these materials and decoration choices, and even the gameplay elements. I think they come together well here. I had a very good time with this level, but it's not necessarily something that you haven't seen before if you have played a lot of LBP2 community creations, but definitely I do think that this one is solid on. Coming up in number 9, we've got the Boost Boots Race by Stephen T 2002, and this one I really love the gameplay of the level, even though I couldn't find myself really falling in love with the actual presentation style of it. But we see Boost Boots come up quite often in levels, but very rarely are we pushed with them. Very rarely does it feel like it's a real challenge and you've got to be quite good to get through it. You definitely get that in Boost Boots Race. That it's tight gameplay, it's tough gameplay. I have managed to complete the level a couple of times. I've never managed to complete the level with actual score on the race timer. It's really slick, it's really tough. But as I said, the actual look of the level is not particularly standout, and that's something that Stephen T 2002 did acknowledge in the comments for that particular episode. He said he's very much more gameplay focused, that's where his strengths are. He doesn't feel that his strengths are so much in the presentation and visual design aspect of it, which I think is absolutely fair. We've all got different strengths as creators. Wrapping us up in number 10 is Welcome Back to the Gardens by Loopy 1200. I like the Gardens aesthetic, and I do like the aesthetic of this level, but I don't really think it hangs together particularly well. It's quite jagged as far as the difficulty curve. It's very up and down, and that's something I personally myself I like to have a much smoother difficulty curve through my levels, through my play experiences. There are some fun bits here. There's an interesting look to it, and it does seem to kind of get that vibe of the Gardens, or more of a kind of a Twisted Gardens, to be perfectly honest. But it can be a struggle at times. So, keep that in mind if you are going to be giving it a play. But that does wrap it up for the cleanup. As I said, that these 10 levels will be coming off probably in the next couple of days to make room for the next set of levels that will be starting up with Friday's episode. But I hope that there's something in here that kind of catches your eye, that tickles your fancy, and give all of them a look, just so that these creators can get a little bit more love. But that is pretty much it for us this go about. So from me, Visco, here in Osaka, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.